here to help you with breeze. Planting seeds and teaching skills. Teachers turn schoolyards to dreams. Oh, hey, school gardens with ease.
Is your school garden summer cleanup too much? You might want to listen to this episode of School Gardens with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Leila Mireskandari, and this is episode number 46. Are you a clean freak when it comes to your school garden? What does that even mean, and how much cleaning is too much cleaning, you might ask? Well, there is necessary cleaning and then there is unnecessary cleaning. There's also neatness and meticulousness, which are very different than cleanliness in a vegetable garden. Some of us are super neat freaks and we expect a vegetable garden to look like an aristocratic English garden, everything in rows and boxes. We want absolutely no weeds at all, and we get upset when plants don't grow straight. Sounds too weird to be true? Trust me, I've seen people preferring a vegetable garden to be empty of all insects, and they freak out every time they see a bee flying around. The best vegetable gardens, in my opinion, are those that are filled with buzzing insects and look overgrown even. Not with weeds, obviously, but with vegetables. I always recommend very dense planting for many, many different reasons that we don't have time to get into right now. And I also recommend inviting nature with biodiversity to come in and help out. A successful and producing vegetable garden is one that works with nature to not only produce a lot of food, herbs, and medicine, but also to have low maintenance. A boxy, aristocratic English garden is the exact opposite. It's super high maintenance, and the only thing it produces usually is a very specific kind of beauty, which is not everyone's cup of tea, by the way. And occasionally flowers. And since we want to have a school garden, a vegetable garden with as little summer maintenance as possible without sacrificing the food production, we have to let go of unrealistic high expectations of neatness and meticulousness. Your vegetable garden doesn't have to look like wild fields. I'm not saying that let everything grow anywhere it wants. But you can't have a meticulous garden that looks good all year round and have it work with nature at the same time and produce lots of food at the same time and also be low maintenance at the same time. That is an impossible task. You need to find a balance. Does it matter that your climbers are growing on a trellis and not, everywhere on the ground? Your tomatoes are not fallen on the ground and they're properly caged? That your weeds are at bay and most vegetables stay in the garden? And yeah, all of that matters. But it's no reason to freak out over every weed, and it's okay if your peas don't grow all the way straight and they go this way or that way or they entangle with each other. Your squashes could, go in a direction that, they have to step out of the garden and into the path. All of those things are okay. The only cleanup that I see necessary is clearing away any fallen, rotting fruits off the soil and into the bin, because those attract flies and mosquitoes as well as rodents, which can invite diseases. But if you don't have any juicy fruits producing during summer, you won't have that problem in the first place. Note that I didn't say don't have fruits growing in a vegetable garden. I said don't have any producing during summer. That has to do with plant selection as well as timing. I teach this in details thoroughly in my School Gardens with Almost No Summer Maintenance class inside the cleanup module, along with everything else that you can do proactively with your students during spring when they are building and growing their school garden to make sure there is no need for cleanups during summer. The link to this class, as always, is in the show notes. There is absolutely no need for cleanups during summer in a school garden that has been designed well, one that has the right plants growing at the right time, are built weed resistant, disease and pest resistant, are biodiverse, and well set up with the right trellises and cages and all of that. If you do that, you will have a school garden that needs no cleanups during summer. There's always the possibility that your community leaves some garbage behind in the garden. I would tell the summer volunteers to clean those up, whenever they see them. Hopefully, though, your community is respectful towards the garden and wouldn't treat it like a garbage bin. But if it did, if that happened, every once in a while, that's okay. We can clean those up. But that's not going to be a lot of cleanup chores during summer. And I don't want you to freak out and think that you should restrict your community's access to the garden to prevent cleanups. Don't put the garden behind a fence. Don't lock the gates. And, let people in your school garden, let them enjoy it during summertime. It has a lot of benefits. A fenced and hidden garden is going to be out of mind, out of sight, and therefore out of mind for people. And there could be a lot of things happening in your garden that nobody even notices. You want people to be roaming around in your garden and enjoying it, so that if there's any problems, they can see and they can report it or they can deal with it. A locked fence wouldn't keep vandalism away. If your lock provokes those teenagers, they will jump the fence and prove to you that you couldn't keep them out. An open garden with beautiful welcoming signs made by your students explaining the purpose of this garden and what people could or shouldn't do politely and nicely works much better than locked fences, because most people would love to feel the garden belongs to them, and that will naturally make them to keep it clean and to protect it too. I will talk to you soon next week in another episode. You've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And please share this episode with other teachers who might be interested in this topic. See you next week for a new episode.